Ladies and gentlemen, what it do? I am your host, Young Bo Easy. I would like to welcome you to the show, man. You are now tuned into the Knicks vibes. You already know what the vibes is on this side, man. You know what we're here for. We're here to talk Knicks. And today, we're coming off a loss, ladies and gentlemen, facing the Milwaukee Bucks at home in the Garden. But unfortunately ended off in a loss, ladies and gentlemen. The score 111 to 107. A couple things to talk about in this one, but before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say like, comment, subscribe, share with all your peoples, man. For the new subscribers that just recently tuned in, I want to say thank you for choosing to subscribe to the channel. I hope you choose to stick around and share with your peoples, and let's get a whole group of people over here, man. Get this thing growing, man. All right. But definitely grateful for you guys that's here. We're gonna get into this, man, because there's some things to talk about. Because this was a interesting game in a weird way. All right. So starting off, man, first quarter, you could just tell it was going to be a defensive game. You could just tell defense was going to be a factor. Only 22 points apiece for both teams, but the thing that was scary for us, all right, is Jalen Brunson had 18 of the first 22 points that we scored in that first quarter. So if Jalen Brunson wasn't a part of this game, I couldn't even imagine. They would have probably just, here's your ass. Like, it's just, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just here, you forgot this. Like, I didn't even know. It's just we shot 24% as a team, man. And JB was 5 for 8 in that first quarter. So you could just tell that we needed this guy, man. He was able to pull through for us very, very big and clutch in such moments, man. And that's something that we're going to be speaking on later. But second quarter was something that Emmanuel quickly chipped in second quarter, man. Came through, I believe he had 13 points in that second quarter. But like the thing I found interesting was check the halftime stats. You know what I'm saying? So we had 2 turnovers, 4 assists, 7 steals, only 5 fouls, man, as they went to the free throw line. And I don't know how many times they went to the free throw line, but they only shot 8 free throws and they only made 5 of them. All right, so you would think we probably, whatever. We fouled them 5 times. But we shot 34% from the field, 92% from the line, and a miserable 15% from deep. So at this point, you're thinking, all right, all we got to do is maybe clean up and start hitting some 3-pointers, and maybe this could be a little, better game because we're playing such great defense. Third quarter, man, dudes, it becomes a great game. We definitely had the foot on next to begin it. I want to say maybe for the first 10 minutes. And then the last 2 minutes, we just broke down and let them have it, and they went on a little run. And then I believe they closed the gap to like 5 going into that fourth quarter, man, which it was just very interesting because Brunson threw out the first punch first quarter, quickly came in, chipped in. Randall had a great third quarter after having a bad first half. And then fourth quarter, man, this thing, you could just see once they got the lead, there was a momentum shift. Although Brunson kept coming through for us, and making the right plays, it was just something that we just could not pull off, ladies and gentlemen. So I got a lot to talk about, but I will do that after we cover the stats, and then get into what's most important first. I've mentioned his name a couple times already, so you already know what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. The star of the show. Normally, I try to hold back. All right, it's a loss, but hey, you gotta show love where it's due and give credit where it's due. Normally, I try to hold on and not spoil the surprise. But ladies and gentlemen, easy star of the show is Jalen J Nova Brunson. 44 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 15 for 30 from the field, shooting 50%, 4 for 10 from deep, shooting 40%. This dude made all the right plays, man, and I believe this is maybe the third time somebody gets their season high or career high, and we just can't close the game. We just can't close these games when dudes are playing their heart out. Grimes had a game. And he scored his career high. I believe he got over 30. Couldn't finish that game. We couldn't close it. RJ had that game against the Bulls. We couldn't close it because DeMar DeRozan came through last minute, last seconds, pretty much, and just shut it down. And now Jalen Brunson, career high, I believe. Career high, playoff or regular season, man, comes through with this great game, man. Took him a lot of shots, but still shot 50%. And just made all the right plays, man. And every time we needed a bucket, he literally came through. He maybe had one or two plays where you could say, he could have did better there. But, man, listen, you talking about out of how many minutes this guy played and how many buckets he gave us, to blame him for two things that wasn't even in very, very critical moments, you can't get mad at that, man. This dude put it all out there on the floor. And he's still in the press game conference holding himself accountable, saying that none of this stuff matters, whether I got the career high or not, because we didn't finish it with a win. He acknowledges those plays that he did where he went wrong. And those are things that he's going to work on and try to come back better from it. So that's, you can't ask for much more with a point guard like this. And we've been blessed this season, honestly, to have him, because there's been some games where he's missed in closing moments, and we couldn't finish the game out with chippers that he normally makes, like the Portland game. But if he hasn't been here at all, we would be a completely different team. Completely different team. So kudos to Jalen Brunson, man, a.k.a. Easy Star of the show. 44 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 15 for 30 from the field, 4 for 10 from deep, man. Let's go into the stats, all right? Because before I go into the next segment, I want y'all to really, really comprehend these stats, all right? I think this is the second time we did this season against the Bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, if I told you before the game Giannis Antetokounmpo would have 22, 10, and 5, you would probably think this game is in the bag. But again, they looking like the Spurs out here, which kind of makes sense. I mean, Mike Budenholzer used to be an assistant coach. All right, but the way that it's spread out, Pat Connaughton, 11 and 11, 11, 11 and 4. All right, 17 points for Brook Lopez, along with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. Jrue Holiday, who came through with some big buckets. This dude was Casper first 3 quarters, thanks to Quentin Grimes. Fourth quarter, oh my God. He just started hitting all the big shots. All the big shots that they needed. And I believe they hit maybe 8 3-pointers, I'm not mistaken, in that fourth. They went off in the fourth quarter, basically scored 40 points. Had 30 points exactly. But they went nuts in the fourth quarter. And we just couldn't shut the water off. We just couldn't turn the sprinklers off. 38-29 was a discrepancy in the fourth quarter. And anytime you are allowing a team, we didn't allow them to score 30 points all in the first 3 quarters. They almost touched 40 in the fourth. That's unacceptable. We got to keep it consistent. Something I always mention could be the reason for that, but I won't even get into that today because y'all often hear me say it, so I'm going to let that die down for today. All right? 15 points for Jay Holiday, man, along with 5 rebounds and 9 assists. 11 and 3 for Grayson Allen, who was a killer in that previous game with a shot over RJ Barrett, and something that was pretty much similar to that, to this game also, kind of a comeback and then, taking the game by storm. 17 points for Joe Ingles and 10 points for Bobby Portis. And also Marjon Beauchamp doing some 8 points. So it's like nicely spread out as far as the points go with that squad. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check out the sexy stats for the New York Knicks. We got Jalen Brunson's 44, 7, and 4. We got Julius Randle 25, 16, and 5 in 40 minutes. And then we got 23 points for Immanuel Quickley, along with 4 rebounds. Immanuel Quickley has been playing some great basketball. Let me say that, man. Ever since he's got into the starting role, averaging over 20 points, man, this dude is doing what needs to be done. And he's making a statement where, because I was saying, Tyrese Maxey is one of these are guys that were teammates in Kentucky. Tyrese Maxey leads the league, is one of the league leaders in minutes. At least he was last season, and I don't doubt that when he's healthy, he is this season. And the points that he's adding up, I'm saying, yo, if we was to give Quickley that backing that Doc Rivers gives Maxey, and I'm not saying do that over Brunson. I'm just saying in a general sense, because even last year we didn't have Brunson. If you give this dude the confidence and the trust to play those type of minutes, he's coming up with the same type of results. And now this dude plays 43 minutes today and drops 23 and 4. And previous games, he's dropping 20. And then I believe he had a close to 30-point game. I don't know if it was against the Spurs or something like that. He might have had more than that. But Immanuel Quickley has been playing some great basketball, man. It's gonna suck to see him revert to the bench, but at the same time, it's a given, and that's something that I'm because RJ Barrett should be back soon, and it's also gonna benefit us. But you want to see Immanuel Quickley play more, but at the same time, I'm just glad that he's off that trade market, because they just seeing the way he's playing and saying, all right, this dude has some extreme value to the point that we don't want to give him up. All right. But between those 3 guys, you got 44 points for Brunson, 23 for Quickley, 25 for Randle. And then after that, you pretty much got nothing. All right? You pretty much got nothing. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's take it to the next segment. And that is the takeaways. First up on the takeaways, man, we talking about composure. All right? We talking about poise. We talking about relaxed. You know what I'm saying? We talking about ain't tripping. We talking about vets. That's exactly what the Milwaukee Bucks put on display. To be taken by storm by a team like us. Young and scrappy. Playing immaculate defense. Getting down 17 points. Although 17 points in today's NBA is Nathan. You know what I'm saying? People come back from that like it's, it's just another day. All right? But to get down and be struggling offensively and having so many turnovers, and they just kept that composure, man. They just show you what it's like when you got veterans. And they said it during the broadcast or the telecast that this is the oldest team in the league, and you got vets up there. You got the Giannis's, you got Brook Lopez, who was very, very slept on as far as his whole career. We got to remember, this dude came in New Jersey and Brooklyn Nets, pretty much dropping 2010 for you. You can hold this. He was a legit scorer, post scorer, and then he changed his game up. He can still do the post work. He can still turn around over that left shoulder, give you that fadeaway. You know what I'm saying? And now he's knocking down that 3-pointer from all parts of the court. All right, so you talking about vets. Hey, you got dudes that's not even playing, like a Wes Matthews. All right, Grayson Allen is somebody who's very, very seasoned, played all years in college. And you just got vets all over the place. I don't have to mention Drew Holiday. These dudes kept their composure, man, and you would think this team has. You would think, and when I say this team, the Knicks, you would think we had it all in the bag, but hey, the Bucks came through, showed poise, showed composure, was really, really chill, Fourth quarter said, yo, this is the money quarter. This is the quarter that pays the bills. They knew what time it was, uh, and just executed the game plan the best way possible and came up with a win. Simple as that. All right. Second on the takeaways, ladies and gentlemen, the void. We had collectively 9 bench points. We talking about like before all this stuff began with the Cam Reddish going down to the bench and Fournier not getting burned and Derrick Rose being out the rotation. I believe we were second as far as bench points. And the only people better than us was the San Antonio Spurs. They pretty much, their starting lineup is foo-foo, and the bench comes through and holds business. Holds down everything for them. He's the only dudes that was better than us. So second is, the New York Knicks before all of this turmoil began. And then you got the injuries that's coming up like now. Only points that came from the bench tonight is Evan Fournier 3 points, Miles McBride 3 points, Obi Toppin 3 points in his first game back. We have nothing coming off this bench right now. 3 dudes over 20 points. And everybody in single digits after that. Starters and bench included. We have nothing coming off the bench. Nothing coming off the pine. Nothing. There is a void. Obi Toppin is finally back. But in a game like this, where Kumpo is Kumpo, and it's his first game back, you're not going to sit down Randall that easily. You're not going to be that confident sitting down Randall with all the attention that this man garners as soon as he steps on the court. If he gets to the free throw line, you're in panic mode. If you don't have the wall up, it's just what it is. That's just what it is. So we can't afford for Randall to sit down, especially when it's only Obi's first game back. And I'm going to combine this with the next takeaway, which is I'm not a fan. Isaiah Hartenstein. Maybe I'm I'm a passionate Knicks fan. All right? if you couldn't tell, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm lost in the moment right now because it's so fresh. It's like a fresh wound, you know what I'm saying? This dude is boo-boo. I've said this months back. I was done over the iHeart experiment a month and a half ago. He chips in. He has some good games and all that. Cool. But as a whole, I'm just not a fan. Especially when you got a dude like Jericho Sims. I know this. We just talking about dunking, right? But John Morant came out his mouth and said, "Yo, get Jericho Sims into the dunk contest." We got you got a dude that's far on the bench, and John Morant, one of the faces of the league, it has eyes on him. Clearly, is paying attention to this guy, even if it's just for his vertical. But that vertical gives us so much in this game. It gives us a different dimension every time he's in the game. You can't say too much bad about him. Every time he gets in, he's giving you great minutes. And today, from Isaiah Hartenstein, we got 10 minutes, 0 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from deep, -3 on a plus minus. This dude missed 3 straight layups, 1 possession. It wasn't even layups. That's my problem with him. You know what I'm saying? The floater thing. When you in the middle of the paint and you throwing up that floater, I'm good. This dude will throw a floater from the side of the rim. I'm not a fan. Dude, grab the ball. You 7 feet. Lay this thing up sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. Lay it up sometimes. This dude is chucking the floater from everywhere. Not a defender in sight. Floater. Like, giving us nothing. Which adds to this void. So, with this void, and you got to do it like Hartenstein, maybe I'm just lost in the moment and I'm being too aggressive on him, stinking it up. Only quickly is Toppin came back. Quickly is going back to the bench once RJ Barrett gets back in, and I can't wait when this guy comes back. What's going on? What are we doing? Is Fournier still going to stay in the rotation? That might make a difference. That'll make a difference. If it's a McBride, Fournier, Quickly, Hartenstein, and Toppin, that might make a difference. But, we need a 3 and D. We need a 3 and D. We need it. We need a 3 and D coming off the bench. We don't even have a legit 3 in the starting lineup, but if RJ comes back, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, Grimes is not your technical 3 and D, but he's a 3 and D. He's not a 3, but he can hit the 3. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? All right? And then he plays defense. We ain't got to tell you that. RJ Barrett, just do your thing, baby. Do your thing. And he should be well rested. You know what I'm saying? At least somebody's getting rest. All right? And I hope he comes back. And maybe he's going to have a rusty game coming up back, but hopefully he gets right back into it. I know he's staying conditioned. And this laceration thing is the only thing that's bugging him. So hopefully he comes back and he gets right into that mode and starts playing basketball again, because these dudes could use a break. We got 43 minutes for Quickly. We got 40 minutes. I said I wasn't going to talk about that. All right, but so I'm going to just let that go. We know what it is. All right, we know what it is. And you can't fully blame Tibbs. You can't, especially in a game like this against the Bucks. But we need a 3 and D off the bench. This loss is probably, again, blamed on the front office, but the guys should have been able to execute. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take it into the last takeaway. And for that, I'm going to take it to the main screen. You see what it says. It's a blessing and a curse. Julius Randle, man, I don't, I can't pay attention to what's going on all around the league every single day. But I think easily this dude is probably the best first quarter scorer in the game right now. He's on an onslaught. Like, every time tip off, boom, Julius Randle is going nuts. I don't even know if we've had this type of first quarter success. Now, I just want you to hear me. This is a little bit of a hot take. I don't know if we've had this type of first quarter success with Carmelo Anthony. Like, I know we would check the temperature immediately. If we got the tip off first, we would put that ball into the in the post and ISO 101, and Melo would do his thing. And if he hit that first shot, we knew we was probably in for a game. All right, that's what it was. Let's check this man's temperature. And it's pretty much like that with Randle, but Randle is going bananas. And a lot of it has been from that three-point line. I believe in the first quarter alone, or in the first half, I'm not 100% sure, he was 1 for 12 and then 0 for 8 from deep. Listen, in one quarter, after 3 or 4 shots, unless you are extremely wide open, I think it's about time you stop taking them shots and let's work ourselves inside out. All right, until we see a couple shots go in, which he did. After a while, he started seeing some shots go up, but at the same time, you at this point, when the shots started going in, he was already 0 for 8 from deep. So it's a blessing and a curse when Randall has it going the way he has this season, because the past 20 games, this uh, he's for the majority of them, he's been knocking down shots, especially from the outside. But the thing is, as soon as he starts hitting these shots, he falls in love with the three ridiculously. He falls in love with the three. And sometimes they're not good shots, but they're going in. If they're going in, ain't none of us gonna be complaining. Like we just know it's a bad shot, but we don't even say bad shot because it's like this dude is liable to hit that nowadays. But when it's off, which we haven't seen a lot of recently, you got to know when to turn it off and then work the inside out game. And he did that pretty much, but I felt like too many shots were taken already. As a whole, he was 9 for 29 tonight. You know, the stats might look good until you look at the field goal percentage. He was 9 for 29. That's no good. That's no good. All right, so it's a blessing and a curse. When he gets this thing going, you like, man, hey, you can't tell this man nothing. At the same time, he falls in love with that three a little too much instead of just working the inside out game, especially in a game like this. I know they got some bigs, but we got to get into that paint. And then Jrue Holiday had 3 quick fouls in the first quarter, had no fouls in the rest of the game. Like, I think this is the type of thing that the players, mostly the coaches, should be aware of. Like, yo, this dude is back out on the floor with 3 fouls in the second quarter. We need to attack this guy. Like, or if it was the third quarter, we need to attack this guy. Like, put him in a situation where he's getting this next foul. And we didn't do that, and he ended up being the one to kill us in this game. And so it's just a blessing and a curse when it comes to Julius Randle. But other than that, I have nothing bad to say about this guy, man. He's completely turned it around. And this has been things that we've said on previous episodes. He's been having a great season, man. Great all-star quality type year. Who knows if he's going to make it? Maybe he might get lucky because Durant just went down with an injury that might take him out a month. But at the same time, they're saying it might not even take that long. You got the Giannis's, you got the two guys in Boston. You got dudes like DeRozan and Zach LaVine, like technically forwards. So who knows if Julius Randle is going to make the All-Star game? We know for us, man, he's an all-star whether they send him to the game or not, man, because the year he's had for us, especially after the year he had last year, this is huge. None of us could have ever imagined this. And I'm happy for the guy, man. And a lot of us are even okay to see the year play out and see how things can go, because right now he's playing like somewhat of a first option. You know what I'm saying? And until he has games like this, so, you know, to be safe, you want to say like he's looking like a phenomenal number 2 option right now. I wouldn't say Jalen Brunson is 100% a number 1, but he's been holding that fort down for us, number 1. But that's pretty much easy to do as a point guard. You got the ball the majority of the time. All right, so, man, that's pretty much my spiel for today, man. Great game all in all, man. The energy was phenomenal. It was an entertaining game. The stats, when you look at it, man, could tell you different, but it was a very weird game. Very, very weird, man. But shout out to the Bucks, man. They held their composure and came through and won this game. And we need to learn from things like this, being a younger team, of how to maintain a lead against vets. And we need to make some moves also when it comes to this, trade stuff. I can't say this enough. We need a 3-and-D here on the bench. And once we healthy, I feel like we'll pick up the pace. But now with the schedule that we got coming in, I feel like we could go on another 3 game winning streak. We were what on a 8 game. We had the 8 game winning streak, and then we had the 4 game losing streak, and then just had a 4 game winning streak, and then lost tonight. I feel like we could get another 6 game winning streak right now because we got the Pacers, we got the Wizards, we got the Pistons, Raptors, Wizards, Hawks. I think those are 6 games that we could win right there, and continue making our case as far as this playoff thing goes because it's looking really good right now at the midway of the season. I believe exactly. Yeah, because we have 41 games exactly, and we're 22-19. I don't know if anybody imagined this. So, at the exact half mark of the season, I believe we got that 6th seed still. Um, and these next 6 games could help us just stay right there or improve. So yeah, man, that's my spiel for today, man. You already know who it is, man. I am your host, Young Bo Easy. You've been tuned into the Knicks Vibes, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the show today. I know I probably went on a little spiel and all that stuff, but I'm just trying to get in depth about my thoughts of what's been going on, not only this game, but in a general sense. And that's something I'm going to continue to do, and I hope you enjoy that. All right? You know what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for that Knicks talk. All right? Love, gratitude, positive attitude. You already know the vibes, and I'll catch you on the next one.